Phillis Wheatley Peters was one of the greatest African-American poets in America during the 1700s. She was taken from Africa and sold into slavery when she was around 7 years old. In 1761, she was bought by the Wheatley family. Her first name had been given to her after the name of the ship that took her to America. Mary Wheatley, who was the Wheatley's daughter, quickly taught her how to read and write. Phillis had a natural talent for learning and was writing poetry by the age of 13. It was something very abnormal for the time period. In South Carolina, it was illegal to teach a slave to be literate. Soon the Wheatley family was able to recognize Phillis's talent. However, they did not stop making her do tasks around the house. When Phillis turned 18, Miss Wheatley helped her get her poetry published. They were unable to do so in America due to racial discrimination, but they did have luck in England. In America, people found the idea of an African American writing poetry preposterous, and there was a committee formed dedicated to verifying that Phillis was indeed the author. Among those in the committee were Thomas Hutchinson, Samuel Mather, and John Hancock. It was a bit dramatic, but they, of course, confirmed Phillis being the author for everyone. In England, Selina Hastings, who was Countess of Huntingdon, an abolitionist and an evangelical fan, told Archibald Bell to publish Phillis's work. Although Selina Hastings was a slave owner, she also liked to support many black artists. The volume that Bell published was titled Poems on Various Subjects, Religious and Moral. With that, Phillis Wheatley had become the first African American and the second woman poet to get published. Phillis and John Wheatley, who was the Wheatley's son, traveled to London in 1773. There, Phillis was able to meet William Lake, Baron George Littleton, Sir Brooke Watson, John Thornton, and Benjamin Franklin. They thought Phillis's work was spectacular, especially for her social status. However, they still did not see her as fully equal. Another famous person that Phillis was able to meet was George Washington. Phillis had written him a letter discussing how she admired him and wanted him to consider freeing slaves. He responded saying that he liked her poetry and it would be nice for them to meet, and they did meet. Thomas Jefferson, on the other hand, was very much not a fan of Phillis Wheatley, and he unnecessarily made that very clear to the public. However, his disdain was based in racism instead of any actual intellect. In Notes on Virginia, he denounces Phillis's poetry and claims that no African American could ever write well. He also said that her poetry is not even worth being criticized, but that was likely just an excuse for his blind hatred. Phillis Wheatley's most famous poem is titled On Being Brought from Africa to America. It goes into how Phillis was converted to Christianity and how Christianity gave her hope for her soul to be saved. She also criticizes racist Christians, stating that black people are seen the same as white people in God's eyes. Therefore, the mistreatment of black people by white people was unjustifiable by Christianity. This is important because many racist people use Christianity as an excuse to be racist. After the height of her career, Phillis Wheatley married John Peters. He wanted to become a successful businessman, but was too heavily disadvantaged due to racism. Phillis Wheatley, barely into her 30s, died in poverty. Still, Phillis Wheatley was one of the most important people of literature in this time. She helped strengthen abolitionist causes and prove that African Americans could have talent.